Hey, one, I just went to a limited engagement this week called My Old Ass, directed by Megan Park. I really thought this was a really interesting story, how she actually made the story almost like a time travel sort of concept if you were to counter your younger and older self. So Elliott is the female's name it, who's about to turn 18 and is at a birthday party. And her older self is Aubrey Plaza, playing the older version of Elliott in this movie. So let's get to the little concept of premise of this story. The premise is actually pretty much this is what I just told you. Elliott's about to have her birthday and goes out with her friends. And actually, the way that she encounters her older self is by getting high. That's part of the story I thought was a little weird, but this story is really told well at this certain concepts as well as that. There's language throughout the movie. I kind of wish they director Megan Park she actually wrote the movie just as well too. I kind of wish she brought it down to a PG-13 level and find different concepts to actually find the future self. But I actually think at the same time that was an interesting take how she actually did that, because I was trying to scratch my head throughout the whole movie. What would be another situation of actually doing a futuristic thing to find your encountering your older self and your younger self? No, you can't leave the DeLorean. That's already been taken by Back to the Future. And it's just one of those concepts of what you would actually think this is about too. If you were to actually have an encounter with both the younger and older version of yourself, you actually think there's a ripple in time that could actually change something if you wanted to. But in some case, some things actually do happen in life, and you just have to deal with certain issues. But to tell the truth, that's what the whole story is kind of about, having to deal with certain issues and having to deal with it. Younger Elliott has to go through certain things before she actually sees why this older version of her actually came to her. It's really interesting take, and I really thought Maisy Stella actually performed a really, really great role in this movie. She's an amazing actress. This is her first feature film, which I thought this was really cool. She did an amazing job. Aubrey Plaza is always a brilliant actress. I love seeing her, what she actually did. I kind of wish she had more screen time in this movie. It's really, it's one of those ideas of a coming of age movie at the same time. And you got to realize it's not really about the version of actually meeting your younger and older self. And what would you actually do if you were to fix something in time? It's one of those concepts, yeah. So that's why I kind of mentioned all that stuff with Back to the Future and all those time traveling movies. There's no possible way sometimes to actually stop something that you can't actually stop. But you have to learn in time actually having to deal with it. It's one of those concepts where you have to just have to give yourself a really big hug and understand why things actually happen. And just saying this out loud, I have certain issues and I can really relate to this movie. And this movie actually really touched me. This is part of the reason why I really wanted to do this review, because the ending of this movie really got to me. And I felt something strong in my heart, emotional, or I can actually relate to this issue. If only if I can go back in time and encounter my 21-year-old of mine, there's actually certain things I would actually probably say to him. But in time, you have to realize you can't change the past. You can't change the future. It's just something you have to live with and have to deal with growing up. It's a growing up issue. And this is what the movie actually really resembles well in this movie. But the really kicker, the really reasons I only gave this movie a kind of mixed in area is the fact that how Megan Park actually dealt with the situation of getting high and encountering it. I see why she actually went that direction, but at the same time, I kind of wish she would have done it somewhat differently, because I felt this movie, since the movie is rated R, find a way to actually turn it into a PG-13 movie. I know there was language throughout the whole movie, but sometimes I feel sometimes you don't actually absolutely need even the language if you want a really good story to tell. But the story was actually really told really good. Maisy Stella once again pulled off a performance of a lifetime. I'm so happy for her. It's just, I could see her career shooting off really good, and see how well, in which direction she would actually go if she stuck with drama or comedy. But I would say this is a straight up drama. But there are points in this movie that you can actually laugh at and go, oh my gosh, what is going on here? Because there's certain scenes as well too, because I'm saying, only the times which you can actually encounter her older self is getting high, but there's other situations too where we're going, oh, well, that's actually cool. And how would you actually have your imagination go wild if you can only do it in a way of getting high. And just tell you this off the bat, I have no idea what that actually feels like. I say no to drugs. I hope you guys actually do this as well too. But the whole concept of this video is this review. And I just want to say, this was actually a brilliant idea. I love what Megan Park brought to this film. And even Aubrey Plaza, who I love absolutely a lot. She is actually really a key role to this movie since she's actually playing the older self of Elliott in this movie. So overall, I really have to give this movie a solid A almost. I gotta say this movie really felt good. And at the end, since I said this really, things like certain issues I can actually relate to, I thought this was a great take of actually doing that. It's a coming of age movie, as you can see. And once you actually do see it, you probably understand if you do watch this video after watching the movie, then you can actually come back and say, okay, this is what I just encountered in this movie. If that's the case, leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys got to say about that. But anyways, it's this, I do recommend it for, once again, since it's a rated R film. For those who are younger, go with your parents, something like that. Situations could be a little bit awkward in this movie, but it really, once again, brings out the key roles of life, what you can actually expect in life. And I really think that's where the story, and where it actually got me the most was actually that thought this as well too. So it's something you got to learn to deal with. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. I always enjoy doing these reviews for you. And especially since the movie hasn't officially come out yet, it's coming out next week. I really hope you get around to actually watching this movie because it's actually a really feel-good movie at the same time. So other than that, my name is Ryan. Thank you for watching. Make sure to give me those thumbs up, subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time, maybe at the movies. See you guys later. Bye.